What's up, Sagittarius? And thank you guys so much for tuning in. So, guys, I am back. I know that I have been gone for a while, but I think in the last reading I put out for you guys, I let you know that there was something big that was going to change for me, and I wanted to make sure I had that secured. So, I did end up moving, just uprooting my life. So, I am now in downtown St. Pete. Super excited. My first time being able to say I live in an actual city because I was always a suburbs girl. But yeah, guys, I'm really excited about that. So, thank you for being patient for me. Thank you for being here, guys. And I'm just happy to be back. But let's jump into everything, Sag. Let's see what is going on for you guys for this July mid-month. And I'm just laughing because I actually, one of my best friends growing up, she ended up moving to the Netherlands. So she's, the Amsterdam area. And she recently flew out to our old hometown in New York, and I'm just like, oh my God, I would love it if you freaking flew out here. Like, it would be so nice to see you, and I don't know the next time you're, gonna be back. So she legit just bought a flight and she just came through, and I'm like, see, that's what Sagittarians are good for. You guys are good at just picking up and just making shit happen. So that's awesome. Maybe she'll walk in while I'm doing this, but we will see. All right, guys. So let's see what is going on for the sign of Sagittarius, July mid-month. We have the moon card. So this could be secrets coming out. This could be an epiphany that you have. This could be things just kind of, being revealed. So let's see. What is going on with the sign of Sagittarius? Now this is going to be for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus Sagittarian signs. And also keep in mind, guys, that on my Instagram, you can find daily energies every day, high vibrations 44. So even if I'm too busy and not able to get on YouTube as much as I'd like, that's where you can still see what's going on, okay? All right, guys. I'm all wet because I was just on my balcony and it's super wet outside and just raining and pouring outside, but here we are. So the energy that you guys have here is the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Now when the Four of Pentacles in the reverse pops up, it could be someone who's being very guarded with their energy. It could also be someone who's either super tight with money or they're just saving money, but definitely a sense of guardedness where with the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, things may not have gone in in a direction that you expected. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Maybe something very good came in for you out of nowhere, so now you kind of have to protect that. But for others, it could be having to protect yourself from getting into something that's kind of bad. Okay. So the first card that we have for the past is the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So for some of you, maybe you're dealing with the Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio here, but this is someone who is very overly emotional about something, just not stable in their emotions when it comes to something. We have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. And we have the Knight of Wands. So there's definitely a lot of anger here, a lot of, disappointment here, someone who's just very upset about something. Now with the Knight of Wands coming out, this is something that you're still standing your ground with. It's you're still showing up, you're still showing your face at work, you're still, getting things done. But it's you're taking a slow approach. I just feel you're taking a very practical approach because the Emperor is someone who's very wise and, they're able to use their past experience to make good decisions. So something that may have gotten you angry or bothered you, or maybe you did that to somebody else, but finding a way to get through it. Now do keep in mind that all the energies here could be transferable, so it could be something that you're putting out or something that you're experiencing coming in for you. So the next card that you guys have for the past is the Seven of Cups in the reverse. So when this card comes out, it shows that everything is out on the table. There's no more illusion or delusion, whether you weren't sure which path to take and now you chose one, or you weren't sure what was right or what was wrong. It's now you're seeing everything, so you know what's right or what's wrong. You have the Ace of Pentacles. And you have the Strength card in the reverse. So this could have been at a time, guys, where there was some sort of debilitating energy around you. Maybe you just felt tired. Maybe you felt sick. Maybe you just felt defeated in a sense. But there's something being offered to you that could be a long-term thing. With the Ace of Pentacles, this is going to be the slowest start, but it's the most stable. It's the most long-lasting of them all. Okay. Now, the last card that we have here is the Hermit card in the reverse. So for some of you, maybe you kind of put yourself in a shell and now you're ready to come out of it. For others of you, whether it was you or someone very close to you, someone could have been moving forward with something without having all the facts on it. So why is this Hermit card in the reverse? We have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. And we have the Four of Wands in the reverse. So there's a lot happening here, guys. You know, with the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, sometimes this could be some sort of reconciliation that comes in, whether it's with a lover, a friend, you know, a family member that you fell out with. If that's the case, I don't see it being a stable reconciliation. So we'll keep that in mind if that's how it, you know, pertains to you. But the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse could also be either someone who is just overspending, living beyond their means. It could also be somebody that is kind of being a leech. So the example I always use for this is like My Super Sweet 16, when you have, you know, on MTV, that show that they used to have when, you know, that 16-year-old would get, let's say, like a blue Maserati and they throw a fucking fit because it was supposed to be red. So it's like that sort of person where it's like, oh wow, you're really a piece of shit, aren't you? So it could be that sort of energy as well, where it's just very draining and someone's kind of like being a leech. Okay, but there's something here that has to do with your past, maybe even has to do with your children if you guys have kids. But there's something that is very reckless, and it's like, you know that it's reckless, but you don't necessarily want to say and admit that it's reckless. Okay, and maybe you're just having fun with it, even though it's extremely unconventional. All right, so let's see what's going on now in the future. Not in the future, I'm sorry guys. The first card for your present moment, I'm just getting back into my groove. So the first card you guys have for your present moment is the Four of Cups. So this is when an offer is not being accepted, or maybe an offer is not being made at all. We have the Six of Swords in the reverse. And the Page of Wands. So here I feel that someone made an offer. Maybe it was you, maybe it was someone, you know, making an offer to you. But I don't see this offer being accepted. I see there being too much adversity and having to let go of this. And whether it's you or someone around you, someone just having a very hard time letting go of that. The center of your reading, guys, is the Ten of Wands. So this is what everything is going to tie into. All right. So with the Ten of Wands, this talks about burden. This talks about having a heavy weight on your shoulders. We have the Hierophant in the reverse. And we have the Nine of Wands in the reverse. So whatever is burdening to you guys was not meant to be in your life. Okay? It's something that there's just too much adversity here. You have to let it go. Now, the good thing is, if there's any sense of rejection or loss that you feel, that does subside rather quickly. But, you know, you just have to keep in mind that this is something that's just too tumultuous to be in your life. Okay? Now, the last card that you have for the present moment is the Nine of Cups. So with the Nine of Cups here, happiness, you know, fulfillment, feeling very satisfied. You have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. And the Page of Swords. So honestly, for some of you, even though there was something burdening that you may have been going through, I feel like a very honest conversation was had where you know what needs to be dropped. You know what needs to be kind of cut out of your life. And that leads to happiness if you're not already there. Okay, so there's really just going to be a strong sense of you having to be honest with yourself and those around you. And whether that's painful or not at first, you know, it is something that ultimately does lead to great happiness and great satisfaction and balance. Okay, so moving forward, guys, into the future, the first card that we have is the Magician in the reverse. So this is when either you're choosing not to manifest something any longer, or there could be manipulation happening in a situation. So let's see which direction this takes. You have the Three of Cups, and you have the Ten of Cups in the reverse. In this case, guys, you want to be careful. There's something that your soul isn't fully comfortable with. There's something that your soul is trying to warn you against and say, hey, this may not be for us. We might have to let this go. This is a bad idea. And, you know, for you to realize what this is in your life, it's going to be something that at first you can celebrate. Maybe it's a group of people. Maybe it's a group of friends, you know, but this could be something social. For the most part, this is going to be something that does excite you to some extent, but ultimately it doesn't do much for you. Okay, something that could lead to a lot of unhappiness, and this could be why. With the King of Pentacles in the reverse as your next card for the future, maybe this is something that causes you to really overspend. Okay, this could also be something where there's someone involved in this that's not 120%, genuinely invested. So this is, this is a card that would come out if you work at a job that you absolutely freaking hate, but it puts food on the table. This is the card that comes out when you're dating someone that you don't love, but you're so scared of being alone, so you stay with them. So it's done more out of convenience and out of routine and out of habit than it is, from the heart. So keep that in mind. We have the Sun card. And we have the Five of Swords. So whoever does not have this genuine investment, or whoever seems to be losing money from whatever's happening here, that's going to be seen for what it is. That's going to come out in some way, shape, or form. And that could be something that definitely causes conflict, okay? Where you have to have a discussion with someone about, I got to let this go. This is too much drama for me. Okay, so something here gets cut out because you just don't feel like it's building in the way that it should be. So maybe you're not seeing eye to eye with the person. Maybe you're losing money in something and you have to kind of find a way to fix that. Or something's just not, genuine. So you're moving away from that. But this is what happens when you do. You have the Chariot. So this is the fastest moving energy in the deck, where you're really moving forward and you're really excelling with something, and it's at a fast pace. And the best part about this is that you're in the driver's seat, so you get to dictate which direction you're going in. We have the Knight of Swords in the reverse and the Three of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so you're seeing that there's something reckless here that you just can't build on anymore. It's just too much. And it's like you turn your back and you really take off with this, because this is your approach. This is your energy while all of this is happening. You're saying, I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. I don't want to scream. I don't want to yell. I don't want, anything that's going to make me feel like I'm competing with anyone or anything. Like I'm out. I just want to be, in a place where I feel good and tranquil. So you really just take off with something, and it's like there's something else that you have to move away from. Okay, so you were dealing with something that was a bad idea. Whether it was someone who was promiscuous that you couldn't trust, maybe you were the one that couldn't be trusted. Maybe somebody was, being overbearing and trying to be very controlling, but it caused you to lose money rather in some sort of way. But something's a bad idea. You move away from it, and with the Nine of Swords, it's like you're really in your head about it. Now, the best thing I could tell you, Sag, is that with the Hanged Man in the reverse, this is going to be the approach that will save you a lot of this unnecessary shit. With the Hanged Man, that's when a person is honest with themselves about what comes naturally to you, okay? Whether it's in regards to dating, or in regards to a job, or in regards to just friendships, you have to ask yourself, does this flow naturally for me, or do I feel like I have to go above and beyond to secure this and to keep it there? Are you constantly calling a person and they're not calling you back? Is there someone that is there someone that you truly want to be friends with and you try hard, but they don't invite you to stuff, and they're, always kind of doing their own thing, and they only come to you if it's like last resort sort of thing? So you have to ask yourself, what feels natural to me? And if it doesn't feel natural, then it's not meant to be there. Okay. So, all right, guys, I'm going to pull you guys 3 cards of advice. I do not know where my Oracle decks are yet. I'm still unpacking a lot of boxes. So the moment I find that, guys, I will start using them again. But just getting my shit together. All right. So let's get 3 cards of advice for Sagittarius. So we have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, 6 of Wands in the reverse, and we have the Moon card in the reverse, where there's going to be some sort of revelation that you have to talk to someone about, or, that you have to just discuss in general, where you're realizing you have to let something go and that it's not going to be successful. Okay, you're still strong through it, and there's an ability for you to amicably put this in the past, but you have to see it for what it is. We have the Devil card Page of Swords in the reverse, and the Five of Wands. So this is something where there might be, you know, a distasteful sort of conversation had around this. There could be a lot of fighting. There's a lot of toxicity here, but this isn't something that you don't already know. With the High Priestess, you guys are fully 125% aware of what this is and the fact that you need to remove yourself from it. So whether it be a lover, whether it be someone that's close to you, whether it was a friend that you thought was down, but they're actually shit, you got to protect yourself from that, okay? You're going to lose faith in something, and there's going to be a sense of rejection that needs to happen there, okay? But yeah, blessings do pour in after you guys let it go. It's showing that, you know, this is something that could block blessings for you. You're not going to want to move forward with it. So you're going to want to take the approach of really protecting yourself and just being patient, you know, knowing that you don't necessarily have to have the answer to things right away. You don't have to have a solution right away, but you want to wait on a solution that is actually feasible, something that actually makes sense. And when you do that, this is where you're at. So it's not that happiness is unattainable. It's actually right there, okay? Because you know what the problem is. So just cut the problem out, cut the bullshit out, and you're fine. All right, guys? So, I mean, this is very solid. This is very straightforward with what needs to be done here. But it's on you guys to follow that, you know, follow through with that. So, guys, I did change around my private readings, so they are more affordable now. So you could always check that out, highvibrationswithliz.com. And then if you guys, again, you know, want to check out my Instagram, you can find me at highvibrations44. But Sagittarius, I love you guys so much, and I will be back with your August readings. Take care, guys.